let's see if I can do this quickly. There are 3 very important items we want to grab right now. Oh, I forgot a room. Hope there's no monsters in here. No monsters, but there's a book. And it's Belphegor's Mental Violations. This hex unleashes dark forces that assail the mind of whosoever the caster desires. Its powers are great, and all will learn to feel the wrath of Belgor. So let's grab that. Let's learn it. That's another attack spell. I think they're called the Destructors. Now, was there a plaque over here? Yes, there is. There we go. We want this metal crescent. And we also want is this urn. Japanese funerary urn. Now that we have all these goodies, we've got to go back to the museum level. The trip should be fairly quick. Alright, that was pretty quick. Now the trick becomes remembering where to go. Take our Hand of Glory. I think the mind symbol is up here. Alright, here's where we want to put the urn. And if I can get around this way safely. Here is where we want to put the broken piece of the metal crest, which allows us to get our next suit of armor. So we drop our bulletproof vest and we take the samurai armor. This samurai armor is going to provide us a great deal of protection. Now, if I understand from how the instruction manual worded it, things like the samurai armor protect us from melee attacks of enemies, while the bulletproof vest would protect us from gunshots and that sort of thing. I only know of a single enemy that fights you with a gun, while there are a few enemies that fight you with magic and so forth. Alright, this is not the right area. Eyes of Alberoth. Where was that? Here's a room we missed. Now this reads the Horned Skull. And this reads the Hand of Glory. So that just signifies to us that this is where those magic items were being held in the first place. I was honestly hoping that at some point in the game we would return those items to those areas and get some sort of reward for it. But such is not the case. No, the demonic mask is over here. Alright. I gotta think, where might it be hiding? Might be one of those rooms. Not over there. No, it's probably in there. There we go. And now we can pick up the key of Avomet. Now that's a necklace that goes around our neck. This jadestone is reputed to aid magicians to walk where others are barred. Now I don't remember exactly where that's supposed to help us. I think maybe that's in the astral plane. Uh-oh. Well, we do not need the hand anymore, or the matches. Well, we have use for the matches still. But we'll get another box of matches later. Alright, so that's pretty much all the big things I wanted to do in this episode. But you know what? There is one more thing that's really worth it that I think would be better to get done with this episode than in another episode. And that is to get ourselves our most powerful weapon. But to do that, we have to go back to the basement. Now, we will get into fights with enemies, so let's get our spear. We're going to leave our shield here because we need the attaché case to pick up all the items that we're going to come across. And we need these items. Now, this may not be the safest way to get this done, but it sure works for me, and we're just going to let ourselves fall to this trapdoor. So we take a little bit of damage, but we end up in the second basement. And I kind of dig the music down here. Here's some of the rock salt. And in fact, the enemies that we want to use the rock salt on are down here. Maelstrom of the Mind. Let's learn that one too. And there is a sword. But if we try to walk forward to grab it, we get teleported. And if we try to walk forward from this direction, it always seems to teleport us to the same spot. But if we try to walk to the spot where we get teleported, we end up where the sword is. And it's a wakizashi. There we go, there's one of the enemies. These ugly worm things, while dangerous, are predictable. And since the spear has range on it, we never have to get close enough to them to let them hurt us. Alright, the pestle and the mortar. A clay bowl and rod used to crush dry leaves into powder. We're going to grab that, because you may remember we read a note that said the crushed magnolia leaves would cause the sea monsters distress. There we go. Now we run into some other very important items. This is the astrolabe. The astrolabe is an antique instrument used for checking the position of heavenly bodies. And that's a big item. It takes up a lot of squares. And we're going to need that item very soon. And this is the bubbling red liquid. A stoppered glass flask containing a bubbling red liquid. Well, if we drink this red liquid, our strength improves. Or at least that's what I'm told it's supposed to do. Maybe it's our stamina that improves. Let's see. More revolver ammo. But looky. Another museum plaque. And this reads Mayan effigy. That's an important one. And here's another rest room. Will we be able to rest in here? Let's find out. A message written in blood. Safe, safe, safe. I can go up and I can go down. As for the worms, they're like garden worms. You put salt on them and they shrivel up. But you can't get close enough, can you? And throwing salt is bad luck. Worse, you can walk right past one and never realize it. It's buried in the earth beneath your feet. Yeah, well, we've already dealt with some of those worms. Alright, can we rest? No. Alright, there's another one of those worms jumping around. Now, we only encounter these worms on this level. But not only do we only encounter them on this level, we only encounter them in this part of the level. Now, this room actually just teleports us around. Whatever that book is, we'll never be able to get to it. Now, Belphegor is over here. Dead one. And now we are in a room with a lot of notes. A page of manuscript. In the caves below are a race of sea demons who have worshipped the dark god since the dawn of time. The sea demons kidnap humans and make them into servitors of Melchior. The servitors perform the rituals that give Melchior power and enable him to appear on Earth. You too may summon Melchior, but to do so without the golden torch of Gothica, or Gothua, protection would be fatal. Melchior destroys all unprotected creatures in his presence. This may be our enemy's undoing. A page of manuscript. Although trapped on the Ethereal Plane, I am able to use my powers to send you 3 messages along 3 different timelines. Find the book that tells you how to open the gates. It's somewhere in the asylum. We found that already. Open a gate and come rescue me before it is too late. If you cannot find the book, enter a swirling ball of light. Now, we've talked to somebody on the ethereal plane that's looking for our help. A page of manuscript. There are 3 dark gods: Melchior, master of the endless void; Alberoth, sower of discord; and Belphegor, the beast and the lord of the dark triumvirate. Belphegor is imprisoned on the astral plane. The other 2 seek to free him. Melchior resides in the ethereal plane, but is able to appear on Earth if summoned, making him the beast's principal agent. Alberoth is able to cross the planes at will, but his attention spans the entire universe, making him of limited use to his master. So one creature is able to appear on the material plane, and there's Belphegor. And what do we have here? We have a key. Let's grab that. Door's locked. Let's change that. This is very nice music for such a nasty stage. And here's another swirling vortex. There's that jerk firing bolts of energy at us. Here's a matchbox. I told you we'd be getting another one eventually. I don't know, can I rush past him? Actually, maybe I'll save it for later. So we've got to find a way to get back up. But this horrible monster is blocking the way. There's some fast food. Are we hungry? Nope. So if he's blocking the way, how are we going to get out of here? Well, to do that, we need to do part of the game I don't like. Let's go into the ethereal plane. Now, if we go into the ethereal plane, we're going to take some damage because, well, we don't have the Mayan effigy to protect us. But it's only a little bit of damage, so it's not that big a deal. But there are monsters in there. Nasty, dangerous monsters. Okay. So we cast our protective spells. Let's grab our spear. Alright. In we go. Alright, so here we are, the ethereal plane. And the ethereal plane is just a swirling blue void. And there are blood beasts wandering around. Blood beasts are still dangerous, but we have better gear and better spells, so we can handle them a bit better. Now these swirling blue blocks here are the ways in and out of the astral plane. Although we can only go through ones that are currently open. So you may remember we were on some levels that had open portals. So we gotta find ones that are open. Alright, let's heal. In fact, we'll use Elixir of Health to heal a little bit too. Nice chunk of healing. Now, how do you know which portals are open and which ones are not? Well, you don't know until you try to walk into one. Now that's the one, that should be the one we came through. Alright, a force field prevents you from entering the cube. Now, it doesn't look like there's much rhyme or reason to this place, but it does kind of have form. It's just hard to figure out. Like right now, I'm at the barrier of one, which is why when I try to move to the left, we remain right where we are. So, not only are there blood beasts to find here, Melchior is down here somewhere. There's Melchior casting spells at us. Might not be a good idea to stay here. Yeah, there's Melchior. It's kind of ugly jellyfish thing. Melchior is not the only thing down here. Not just the blood beasts either. Remember, a guy said he was trapped down here. We could potentially find him. Only problem though is he's wandering around. But I think he wanders around close to Melchior. Oh, there's another one. Ah, no, we're dead. Dang it. Alright, I was worried this was going to happen. And I hadn't saved in a while. So, I guess what I'm going to have to do is redo all of that off screen. And we'll pick up back here in the Ethereal Plane at some point. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are back in the astral plane, and I've found what I'm looking for. Let's go say hello to this fine gentleman. Stop! Please, you must help me. Alright, first tell me who you are. I am Charles Wetlock, and I am a magician of the right-hand path. Before you ask, I am utterly opposed to the forces of evil ranged against us. However, like you, I am virtually helpless here. This despite my knowledge of esoteric doctrines. Helpless? How? I have left my physical form by means of astral travel. What you see before you is a psychic projection of my inner self. Normally, the process is a simple one, but on this occasion, my inner self was snatched to this place where I have been trapped ever since. Since then, I have been able to manifest myself for brief periods within the Winthrop mansion. I have also been lost, confused, and attacked by foul apparitions. Now, I am simply wary. I need your energy to escape, and escape I must. Do you know where we are? We are both adrift in the astral plane, an endless void that spans all the dimensions of the cosmos. The ethereal plane is a bridge to other states of existence. It's from here that you can reach the astral plane, where dwells your nemesis. Me? Why can't you go to the astral plane? I have one last chance to escape this hellish void. To do so, I need to draw on your energies. Will you help me? Well, sure, we're going to help him. Thank you. Now, you may not have noticed, but he just drained a big chunk of our magic. But all in all, it's actually worth it, because he's going to give us an item and a spell. Thank you. Take these crystal glasses of Anisu. They will help you find a true path on the astral plane, for it is there that your final conflict lies. However, do not rush to face Belphegor. You will need a protective talisman fashioned out of a meteorite fragment in the Room of Skulls. Also, your strength and skills and magical awareness must be at their peak. If you face Belphegor unprepared, you will die. One more thing. I have implanted in your mind. Knowledge of a powerful spell in your mind. Use it wisely, now to escape this wretched place. Farewell. Well, off he goes. But we want to be careful. Melchior is still nearby throwing spells at us. Let's see if I can kill these enemies without getting killed myself. There's a spell. Alright, let's grab these glasses. Let's move on. Melchior killed me last time, throwing spells at me from off screen. I think it was Melchior that killed me. Could have been a blood beast. Alright, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to heal. I wanted to heal, and then this jerk showed up. Alright, good. But we're still adrift here in the Ethereal Plane, and we gotta find our way out. Now, I may have mentioned to you before that the Ethereal Plane has all these portals that lead to other parts of the mansion. And if we can find the right one, and I don't know the right one from the wrong one, we can end up back in the museum level of the mansion, which kind of sounds like we just made it there. Yes, we did. Now, we do not have the Hand of Glory with us right now, so these slimes are going to be a problem. I would just call it a minor problem, though. You want a snack? You're not hungry. But as I was mentioning before... Oh, hello. This is exactly where we want to be. Because we have the museum plaque to get the Mayan effigy, and we also have the wakizashi. These are two of the items that we need to get on with the game. Well, we don't need them, but I want them. The Mayan effigy makes it so that when we travel to the Ethereal Plane, we don't get hurt. Because normally it hurts when we travel to the plane. Right. Alright. Now we have the Mayan effigy. And with it, we can travel to the different planes without hurting ourselves. That also includes the name of that monster that I keep forgetting. The Karsthus plane? Alright. We're going to keep the wakizashi, but we're going to drop the assegai. We threw the assegai, and we're going to take the Hand of Glory. And we're going to return the wakizashi to the stand. Or I wanted to until I dropped it. Actually, let's move the urn. I think that's part of the problem. There we go. And we replace the urn. And we just have magical burst of energy. The swords are now imbued with the spirit of the samurai. In this case, we're going to take the katana. We're going to try to take the katana. And this is arguably now the most powerful weapon in the game. Because it has been imbued with the spirit of the samurai. What were they calling him? There was a note with his name. But this sword is now extremely powerful and can strike just about every enemy. So we will actually not be using any other weapons at this point in the game. And also, we're going to call it an episode at this point. Although I'm going to leave this for lore. Because our next stop is actually to take on the Karsus. We need to take care of both the Karsus and not Belphegor, what's the other? Beryl? Before we can finish exploring the basement. Alright. And this is where we're going to call it an episode. Because when we get together next time, we're going to see just what's behind this painting. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.